Hey, what's up? So, I was messing around the other day, trying to recreate the sound that LSDream made in Rat with Joey Valance and Bray. This is what I came up with. So, I mean, it could always be closer, but this is pretty close. So I figured I'd share how I did this. Mainly, the first thing was I had like some layers that I put on top. I'll mute that for a second. Just want to show you the pitch bending here. So this pitch envelope is really what gives the character and the attitude for this sound. So if you watch me play it again, you'll see it. A lot of pitch bending up and down that makes all that happen in the sound. This little spot here is vibrato. I'm sure you could actually use vibrato in the VST itself. However, I just figured since I had my pitch envelope already open that I just do it this way. So let's take a look at what I have in here. I used Vital, so everyone can download Vital and use this. I will turn off some of the effects though. So here is Vital. Now, one of the things that you want to point out here is in the pitch bend, I made sure the pitch bend was 12. And I will include this preset. I'll give it out so that way, you know, if you want to download it and try it yourself, you can just look and see how I did it. But I'll go through a little bit of how I did it here. Mainly what it is this, you have this high pitch sound, but it's also getting moved by this really low pitch sound. And this low pitch sound is getting some oscillation from FM from oscillator 1. So it just adds that grit, but it keeps the high pitch stuff above. You can still feel like the low pitch oscillation kind of moving within the high pitch sound. On top of that, I did a lot of experimentation with just trying to get like the right type of distortion going through. So a lot of these are just low pass filters, as you can see, that have certain amounts of effect on them to try to get that grittiness. And same goes for this LFO here, which is kind of adding a little bit of a click. I think if I were to work a little bit more on making this even better, I'd figure out a way to get rid of that click. But I think this is good enough because when you do put this sound in a mix, the click kind of gets lost anyway with side chaining, etc. Here you'll see like a little bit of the processing, but let me show you an example of like doing some trial and error with this sound, how gentle it is to moving. You know, I move one thing and it seems to really change the sound. So specifically this like filter. Just moves a lot of the gritty character away. And this signfold specifically does it. The signfold really keeps the high pitch in the sound. Otherwise, it sounds like that. So, I'll send you this preset. You'll have a link to it, so you'll be able to look at this and, you know, test it out yourself in Vital. There are a few other things that I did do to try to give it that grit and that energy. The first one was here with Trash, the new Trash. I know some people didn't really like the new Trash as much. I thought it was actually pretty good. And this just has a gentle tone on it with, this is a gentle tone preset actually. I think I just dropped it in here and just went through some presets. And I have the mix like way down. So it's just adding a little bit of harmonic energy. The next was an OTT. So this OTT, I turned the downward compression down like by half, and then it only has about half depth, a little bit gained up. But the idea is probably just to pull out some of the low there. You can hear it before and after. This is before. It really just pulls out that buzzy kind of thing at the top that I want. And last thing is the original sound has a really decent amount of stereo. So I added isotope imager on here and I just give it just a bunch of stereo. So one thing I did notice though is as I did this, one of the characteristics since it's playing along with the sub is that it has this really like buzzy high pitched like kind of noise thing above it. So I added another thing following this that is just that. It's just another channel that's just adding the buzz. You'll hear it. So I'll mute the Vital so you can just hear the top end. So just to give you a little rundown on how I did that, this is just a serum. I'm sure you could recreate this in Vital 2. It's really simple. It's just a sine wave with some noise that's getting processed through a compressor. So when you compress it together, the noise itself gets squished by the low sine wave. And then, of course, I pass it quite a lot to just get the sound I want. And then a little bit of OTT to really squish it together. And then, last but not least, a peak limiter that's just really squishing it so it doesn't move. It's just like a nice flat line. And so we have it nice and flat, so we always know it's going to be that level. So when we play it together with this, we get that lovely sound. So this was a fun project to do. I feel like also making this, you could probably alter a lot of stuff in this section here to get different noises that sound similar but not exactly the same to this sound, which could be a lot of fun if you're making your own music. You want to make something that's along the same lines as this, but you don't want to just feel like you're copying it. You could really go to town and like just move some things around, maybe change which shape you want. So yeah, if you move like even a little bit of something around, you'll get some stuff. Like, check this out. So all of a sudden it gets really, really intense. So you can really, if you messed with this, you could find something that's very similar to what the original sound was, but it's not like fully copying it. And, you know, maybe make something of your own and inspire yourself. So I hope you enjoy this. I will include this preset in the link in the comments for you guys. And thanks so much. If you want to support me more, you can always check out my Patreon or my label or my podcast or anything on my socials. Take care.